to Barbecue Central.
Do it live. Okay. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Oh, am I good? Yeah. All right, good evening and welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. Here we go. Wow. They sound way different, I gotta admit. We'll get into that here in a second. Hey, you have found the show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling. We are broadcasting live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. I am your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here. If you want to jump in this evening with an email, you can do so at this email address.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to Greg at bbqcentralshow.com or on the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you didn't get the newsletter. Coming up in about, let's call it 12 minutes from now, he is a first-timer to the show. If you are looking for something that has to do nowadays with charcoal, or you're looking for a new charcoal brand, or you're not happy with the brand of charcoal that you are currently getting down with, might I highly suggest that you go ahead and make sure that you listen to this next segment, because we'll be joined by the sales and marketing manager from B&B Charcoal. Joey Machado will be joining us right here on this show. And then after Joey, we will lock up the third week of the month. Of course, brings a visit from one of the founders of the Steak Cook-Off Association. Brett Gallaway will be joining us. Yes. And then we will move to the second hour. Let me back up just for 1 second. Brett will be on. You know, we have not had Brett on I think we might have missed him last month. I don't remember if it was the month after that. I know we had him right at the top of the year. We missed him at least once last month. A lot has been going on in the Steak Cook-Off Association. Something major has happened, not necessarily relating directly at the Steak Cook-Off Association, but directly to the Steak Cook-Off Association. That being, what? I actually saw firsthand a Steak Cook-Off Association event. Actually filmed it live. We did it live.
We'll do it live.
That's right, Bill. I filmed it live. It was huge success. It was one of the most watched videos I've put on my Facebook page in recent memory, on the show page. So if you haven't seen it yet, hop over there. I'll get into that here in a second. So that's what's going to be going on in the first hour. Then we will move to the second hour, and we will have a visit. 2 first-timers to the show here this week, by the way. We will have a visit from somebody who has a last name that might just sound like something you've heard before. Might use a fuel source like something you've heard before. However, it's not what you think it might be. So we will be joined by the founder, investor of wood pellet products, Tyson Traeger, will be joining me. That's going to be fun. If you're not familiar with the products that Tyson is involved with, as I was kind of teasing, it is pellet related. He does outside heaters, but not like the propane heaters that you would typically see Actually, like the propane heater that I just got for Christmas for my wife 4 months ago. These are pellet-fired outdoor heaters. Two different versions. There's a small and a big version, or a patio and a backyard, or and a commercial version, I believe is how he terms it. We'll find out more about it in the second hour. But then he also has a line of biomass fuel cookers, which can use pretty much anything to get it going. Unique, really cool to look at. They look like they are producing really cool food and heat. So very excited to talk to Tyson. I'm trying to actually chase him down for weeks. And then to close out the show, I will give you a recap of last week's events at the 2018 I Am Barbecue / NBBQA Barbecue and Grilling, the National Barbecue and Grilling Annual Conference that took place in Fort Worth, Texas. So there you go. Joey Machado coming up, Brett Gallaway after that, Tyson Traeger in the second hour, and then my thoughts on the National Barbecue and Grilling Association and the events that took place last week and the people that I met and the reconnections that I've made, so on and so forth. All right, so let me ask you for a favor, especially if you get this show on podcast. Please go ahead, take time out to rate and review the show on the podcast platform that you listen to, whether it's on iOS, whether it's on Google, doesn't matter, Stitcher. Take the time out, even 1 second, and give me an honest rate and review. I'm a big boy, so if it can't be 5 stars, I get 3 stars. Hey, I love reading the 1-star reviews too. It's all entertaining and insightful and beneficial and educational to me. So please take time to rate the show. That's going to give the show more looks, more visibility on those platforms, and I would appreciate that, and thank you in advance. If you didn't see it, right at the top of the show,
a Barbecue Central Show exclusive news update.
Here it is. It's right here, folks. It's the brand new Barbecue Central Show t-shirt. That's right. New logo is released. I actually have another logo aside from this one that my cousin Scott made that'll get up on the Amazon merch page here as soon as we launch that. Waiting for some file stuff there. And once we get that, we'll have another option. So here's what you do. Limited run of shirts. There's 50 total. And, I mean, I thought I had all the barbecue sizes kind of covered more or less. We have Barbecue Petite, which is a traditional XL shirt for $24. Then we have a Barbecue Small, which is double XL for $25. Then we have, and maybe I misunderstood, the traditional Barbecue Medium, which is triple extra large for $26. And to round it out, a 4XL $27 shirt right for you. Now, you might be saying, $26, $27, $25? Well, hold on a second. Hold your horses. Shipping is included in the price. You're welcome. And by the way, the cheapest shirts would have been small to extra large, all one price. I could have sold them all for one price. The minute you go into double XL and beyond, prices go up $1 a shirt size. So I get that $27 is a lot for, plus I'm trying to make a couple bucks, literally a couple bucks. I'm not even making money on shipping. I got all that worked out. So I did my best to keep costs down, but I mean, come on, guys. It's just more raw material. A 4XL is 4 times bigger than an extra large. It's just more raw material cost. So I'm keeping it down. Couple bucks for me. Literally a couple bucks for me. Then it ships off to you. 4XL, 3XL, 2XL, and extra large. All you have to do is go to the website, thebbqcentralshow.com. Let me show you. Here's the webpage here. And then all the way up at the top right, I'm circling it. There's a thing called products. You click on that. Then you have your shirt sizes, extra large, 2X, 3X, 4X. Go ahead and click into the shirt size that you want. Click view item. That'll give you a nice bigger shot. That's not me, by the way. That guy's in shape and has a full head of hair. Then at the very bottom, you can put in the quantity that you want. and then click Buy It Now. Then you have this page come up, put in your email, your shipping address, then enter in your payment method, and you're off and running. Super simple. I try to keep it as simple as possible in the ordering process. And we've already sold 5 or 6 different shirts of varying sizes. Actually, extra large continues to be the most popular at the moment. But don't be left out. Please make sure that you head on over and get that first 50 run of the Barbecue Central Show t-shirts. Again, extra large, double XL, triple XL, and quad XL, $24, $25, $26, and $27 in total. And that price does include the shipping. So head on over. Love to send them out to you. We'll give some away here over the next handful of shows, too. But show everybody that you are a true Centralite by donning one of the first freshly minted Barbecue Central Show t-shirts. Some key influencers might have picked one up at NBBQA. All right, folks, let me talk to you quickly about Southside Market and Barbecue. Shout out to Nick and the gang over there at Southside Market and Barbecue. Met Nick in person this past week. Got to hang out with him for a couple days. Absolutely incredible. Attention, anyone who loves sausage and barbecue. First of all, what do you know about Southside Market? I can tell you this. They were established in 1882. Southside, the oldest barbecue joint in Texas, has been owned and operated by the same family for 3 generations. They're famous for the original beef sausage. It's coarse ground and natural pork casings. That is authentic Central Texas barbecue. Now, all the meats that they sell, including the prime briskets, are slow smoked for many hours over real Texas post oak wood. And they ship nationwide via the online store. Make sure you take this down, southsidemarket.com. That's southsidemarket.com. They ship fresh and smoked sausages nationwide. Shipping customers can choose to order now and ship later. Include a custom gift note. Mail multiple addresses without additional charges. They're not trying to jam you up. They're actually trying to save you money while you proliferate excellent barbecue and sausage. All shipped items vacuum sealed to ensure freshness and ease of preparation for the customer. Shipped with dry ice to ensure complete freshness upon arrival. All meats processed in the on-site USDA inspected facility. The meat market for fresh and smoked products. Custom orders are welcome. If you have an idea or thought, please feel free to hit them up. There's 2 restaurants, by the way, if you want to check them out. The main flagship in Elgin, Texas, and one in Bastrop, Texas. That was founded in 2014. Grocery distribution through Texas and many surrounding states. And here's the hookup, folks. Just for podcast and live listeners only. You're not going to see this on social media anywhere else. 10% off all purchases through the online marketplace, southsidemarket.com. All you have to do is use promo code BBQ Central. That's right. Use the coupon code BBQ Central at checkout at southsidemarket.com to get 10% off your order. If you're on the fence about the beef sausage, this should push you over the edge. Get a bunch. You're going to love it. Again, 10% off coupon code BBQ Central at checkout at southsidemarket.com. That's Southside Market and Barbecue. We're back with Joey Machado right after this.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, this portion of the show is being brought to you by Butcher Barbecue, makers of award-winning injections, marinades, rubs, seasonings, barbecue sauces, grilling oils. All of Butcher's products have been tested on the competition circuit as well as in the backyard. You can be a championship pitmaster right in your own neighborhood if you visit butcherbbq.com. That's butcherbbq.com. Always trust your butcher. All right, let me get this number in here. I did see a lot of butcher products going on, by the way, this past weekend. Hey, some of us love wood, some of us love charcoal, some of us love both wood and charcoal, but I think we can all agree that regardless of what you like, you want to get the best options available. So when it comes to charcoal, there's a few big names, obviously, that most everybody knows about. But what if there was a better option I could let you in on? You'd like to know about it, wouldn't you? Of course you would. So my next guest is the sales and marketing manager for B&B Charcoal. Let's head to the Traeger Grills hotline and welcome first timer to the show, Joey Machado. Joey, how are you, buddy?
Doing wonderful. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous, Joey. Appreciate you making time for the show. And first and foremost,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to meet you over this past week at the National Barbecue and Grilling Association's conference. Really seeing what you and the team do was really kind of impressive. You're cooking, you're exhibiting, you're running around like a crazy man that whole week. How did you find the NBBQA for you guys at B&B?
I tell you what, I love NBBQA. Last year was our first year there as a company, as B&B, to be able to represent. And we've come a long way, to be real honest. I mean, last year we were begging and pleading to get some, to be able to get in there and put some product in some people's hands. And, everything that we did last year worked. And, we've been able to make some great relationships and some great friendships. And that's really what has propelled us to where we are right now.
Joey Machado joining me here on the show. bbcharcoalproducts.com is the website if you want to check it out here while we're chatting it up this evening. Joey, if you could, I guess a little background about you first and foremost.
Sure.
Where are you out of, and have you always been in that live fire cooking and barbecue industry?
I tell you a little bit about my background. I am originally from and currently still live in Seguin, Texas. We're just kind of a rural town about 30 miles east of San Antonio. My background has always been a sales and marketing in something. And I've been competition cooking for about 17 years, mainly in the IBCA scene. That's been kind of what we grew up with and, what we knew. Probably over the last 4 or 5 years is when I really started to develop a relationship with B&B Charcoal. They became, one of our sponsors, and, my son had a little brush with fame as far as he did some Food Network stuff and was able to do Kids Q Barbecue Championship. And really for him, that kind of launched us as a barbecue company, or as our team, what we call Guadalupe Barbecue Company. That kind of launched us out there and, got us seen. Ty, my son, was actually invited last year to NBBQA to become, or to be one of their young guns. So he was like one of their celebrity cooks last year. And so that's kind of what got us our foot in the door with NBBQA, with the brand.
As far as the charcoal is concerned, when did you guys form the formal relationship with B&B?
I had started marketing for B&B more on a relationship level about almost 2.5 years ago. And then I actually got on the payroll probably almost 1.5 years ago. And, it was a brand. It's been around. It's been around since 1961.
Wow.
The same family who started it still owns it today. And, but it was a great company in Texas, but really not outside of. And, that was kind of one of the tasks that they gave me, was to, try to, blow the brand up a little bit.
So, would you find that to be the case more or less when it comes to other charcoal that isn't, let's say, a Royal Oak or a Kingsford? There's local or regional success, but to really branch out, it's more of an anomaly than an occurrence?
Yes, I think you're exactly right. There's a lot of great brands of charcoal who've been out there for years and years and years and have just been that little local, what they would call a specialty, charcoal. I have several friends in the charcoal business now who, they still small batch it and, they may do, a couple 100 bags a year. And it's more of a hobby than it is a job,
Joey Machado joining me here on the show from B&B Charcoal. So let's go ahead and break down B&B's charcoal process, how it's made, and I guess how it sets itself apart from some of the other charcoal that's existing on the market today. Because I think charcoal can easily be viewed as a commodity, and there is value in certain charcoals, correct?
Oh, yeah, for sure. As anybody out there who, realizes there's a reason there's a steak that costs, $1 a pound, and there's a reason there's a steak that costs $25 a pound. And with that knowledge and, looking at that value of, why you're going to do that, why are you going to use a cheap charcoal on your product? There's, we like to say, we're one of these companies that we're too big to be small, too small to be big. We know that we have a great product. We know that we have a premium product. And we do work with a lot of big box stores, but we still have the stance that, our product is worth something. Our brand is worth something. So every time that we go through the process of how this charcoal is made, we go back and look at it because this product is an all natural product. This product is developed from live trees. We're not burning 2x4s or parts of the highway or anything like that. Basically what we're doing is we're just using real wood producing real charcoal. And, and sometimes even because we do lump products, we do briquettes, we do hardwoods, we do, just every gambit of the cooking side, we have a product for it, whether it's going to be pellet, electric cooker, you name it, we got it. And again, one of the main reasons that I joined this company is because me as a cooker, I paid for this charcoal for a very long time. I still pay for this charcoal today. I don't have a problem buying this charcoal. And it's kind of one of those things that, when you believe in a product, you're going to have it, regardless. It's just like anything else. If you have the best results using this particular charcoal this one time, and you happen to get a grand champion doing it, guess what? Next week, you're going to sure have that charcoal with you. And so that's kind of the mentality that we try to run. We try to have a very high-quality product. We have very high standards for a lot of the big box stores that we deal with. We actually have to go through audits several times a year as far as the species of the wood that we're using, the way that our plant is operated, and the way that our packaging is done. So, I take social media very seriously, and I take it very personally. So I really watch social media. I try to make sure that, everyone's having great experiences. When there's not a great experience, I kind of freak out. And I, try to get down to the heart of it and try to contact those individuals who may say they had a bad experience or anything like that, and try to find out why and see if there's anything I can do about it. Sometimes it's people who are just not used to good charcoal. And, and sometimes it's people who it's an industry. So, sometimes we have people out there who bash us a little bit because, their heart's in another place. And that's okay. We all understand that.
From a consistent, so if you're making a consistent product and you have processes that are put in place to make sure that product comes out consistently, like what would give somebody a bad experience? Like, can you have a bad batch of charcoal, or, wouldn't that string across like a whole run more or less?
Correct. And what a lot of people need to understand, whether it's our product or any other of the brands out there, there's a lot of human element in this. And I'll tell you, a funny story is I actually had a guy last year who sent me a picture, and there was a hammer in a bag of charcoal that he got. And it's funny because some of the charcoal, when it comes out, the pieces are so big that we do have guys standing on a conveyor line who bust the charcoal with a hammer. And so, and the guy, he said, "Hey, I'm not complaining." He said, "I got a free hammer out of the deal." And but, that's one of the things. There are human elements to this deal. And usually if we ever have an incident, it's not because of the quality of the wood. It's not because of the quality of the charcoal. It's because there's a foreign object that's found in a bag, or, someone will say, I was at a Walmart or an Academy or something like that, and it was a busted bag or, something like that. But it's very easy for people to take a very small thing and blow it up, that.
Yeah.
But like I said, for us we do take big strides to make sure that we put the highest quality products out there every single day.
Joey Machado, the sales and marketing director for B&B Charcoal, joining me here on the show. Joey, what different kinds of charcoals are you currently offering right now?
We have our base line of charcoals, which is going to be our lump products, which we offer an oak lump charcoal, we offer a hickory lump, and we also offer a mesquite lump. Off the variation of that, we also have a mixed hardwood, which there's not a big enough percentage of one or the other, to make a difference, but It's kind of like the most inexpensive line of charcoal that we have. And, and the other thing for us is we have size variations that are like, it's kind of ridiculous how many different sizes we have, from a 10-pounder all the way up to a 40-pounder.
Wow.
And even for commercial side, you can go to 1,000 pounds.
Really?
And, we do a lot of commercial stuff. The company actually we've been over the years to a lot of private labeling as well. And like I said, we put the same product in lots of different bags. There's a lot of people out there who probably use our product and never even knew it. And, but that's okay as well. For us, we're still selling charcoal. Now, in today's market, what we're doing, we've been really stressing to build this brand. We've been trying to burn these two B's into everybody's head and really put the value into our brand because, again, we make the most money when we sell this charcoal to the consumers. And again, so like I said, we've been doing a great job for everybody else. Now we want to do a great job for us. And so, moving forward, like I said, you're going to see a bigger presence of our product, even really starting this year. Walmart has helped us get from coast to coast, even into Alaska and Hawaii this year. So we've got a presence in, I think, all but about 2 states right now. And we have a huge presence in Academy Sports and Outdoors. Pretty much every academy that you're going to walk into, you're going to find our products now. I wish there were more academies, but I think according to their plans, they have more stores rolling out, but our main focus is, most of the academies are kind of in the heart of barbecue country. And I don't want to offend anybody who doesn't have an academy, but like I said, as far as the market trends go, we're kind of where we need to be. We also do stuff with Ace Hardware and various other, smaller brokers. We want to be a big brand, but we don't want to be too big of a brand where we lose our, we've got a good old boy mentality. We still do things on a handshake. We are from Central Texas. And like I said, you get too big and you lose control over the product you can put out there. And we don't want to do that.
Joey, one of the items that I wanted to talk to you specifically about tonight that I found very interesting was this char log that I saw bags of. Actually, the guys from Best Barbecue were, I don't want to say stealing. They were taking a lot of charcoal when it was starting to rain on Saturday and things were wrapping up, and they leave with a pickup truck full of charcoal, and there was a number of bags of these char logs. So for the folks that aren't familiar, what are those, and are they for a specific market?
Yes, and this is continuing on to your first question. The char log is actually a derivative of our oak lump charcoal. Everything that's too small to bag, it gets pulverized, and we have a natural binder that we create. We extrude these. They're like mini charcoal logs. And what they were originally intended for is for guys who run stick burners. Every time that you'd go in there to put one stick of wood in an offset cooker, you put a handful of these char logs in there, which would be, it could be anywhere from 4 to 5 to 6 of these char logs in there. And really all they do is they just help you maintain a really nice coal base, don't give you dips in temperature. They just kind of give you a little bit more burn time, and it could extend the intervals between 30 to 45 minutes between when you'd have to put that next log on. So, for a lot of guys who've done competitions and, stay up late at night, feeding a stick burner,
Yep.
these things are pretty heaven sent because they can buy you some extra time. But the other thing they do is on these smaller grills now, on barrels especially, a lot of guys who started putting these in with their lump charcoal, with their briquettes, to extend those cook times as well. And you're able to get some crazy temperatures and some crazy cook times off of it. And while we're on that little subject, the briquettes that we put out is also the same material. It's an oak lump, it's oak lump dust. They're 96% oak dust. Plus, the balance of that's just a natural binder. So there is not a better or denser or, anything else that you would think about in a briquette. This briquette is just a phenomenal, item. And it's still a pretty inexpensive product. Even the char logs are, we have a 30-pound bag of char logs. They retail at Academy for $19.99.
Oh, wow.
So if you put a pencil to it, it's pretty inexpensive. I actually have taken the char log when I'm cooking in SCA contests. I can take 7 char logs in one fire starter chimney, and I can cook a whole contest just with 7 char logs. And I'm at 700 plus on grill grades. So, and plus you have a huge window of opportunity to cook that steak.
Sure.
On some other briquettes, you have a very small window. On this one, you got like 30, 40 minutes. You could actually cook a practice steak and cook your regular steak, and your grill grates, won't ever come off 750 degrees.
Not to segue too hard here, but as we're talking about the SCA, and obviously there were 2 of those that took place over NBBQA, but the one that I saw was the one that went off, I believe it was Thursday night or Friday night? Like the celebrity.
Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night. You have a budding pitmaster / grill master in your midst in your son Ty.
I do. I do. And,
you do.
we had a last year, like I said, my son, he was cooking full IBCA contests on his own from about 13 years old to about 15. And last year we just hit it really hard. We cooked over 22 contests last year. And to be real honest, he got burned out. And so I have, just kind of let him focus on school this year. And this is his first contest of the year. He's never cooked a SCA. And my first SCA was a couple weeks ago at Sonny's down in Florida, in Orlando. Mm-hmm. And I had some, I've got some of the best, some of my brand ambassadors are some of the best, steak cookers.
You're damn right.
Exist.
Yep.
And so on the way down to Florida, I had Rolando from Poncho and Lefty Steaks on the phone, and I was like, "Hey, give me some tips. I want to go down there. I don't want to look stupid. I just want to be able to turn out a decent steak." And so he gave me, some good information, and we went down there and cooked that steak. And me being me, I didn't use a single bit of his knowledge. I went and I just did my own thing down there. And at the end of the day, I was about last. And Kendall Adair, who's also one of my brand ambassadors, he actually went down there to go cook with me at Sonny's. His steak was third place. I got to taste it, and I figured out real quick everything I did wrong. Yeah. So when we had the opportunity to cook here at the National Barbecue Association, the plan was Ty was going to help me cook, and because even on the SCA, you still have to be 18 to legally, to collect a check if you win. And so the plan was, he was going to do it, but of course you saw I'm running in 15 directions all the time. So we just kind of went over the game plan, and before I knew it, I got back to camp, and he was already cooking his first steak. And we used that information that Rolando had given us, and the very first steak he rolled out on his practice steak was perfect. I couldn't say anything about it, and the one question I asked him was, I said, "Where did you pull that steak? At what temperature?" And he goes, "I didn't. I just pulled it off." I was like, "Okay." So we went on to, time to do the second steak for competition. And, he went ahead, cooked it the same way, pulled it off, looked the same. You know, he was happy with it. I was happy with it.
Wow.
And I said, well, you going to tempt that steak? He said, no. He said, it's good. I said, all right, let it go. And sure enough, you know, he wound up with a fourth place walk there against the guys who were there. Was
forget about it. I mean, name it. You name it, everybody was there.
I mean, it was the who's who of the SCA.
Yep.
So we were very. I was happy because I saw that spark back in his eye again. You know, he's 16 now. You know, he's got a lot of things going around in that head of his right now.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm very, very happy that he's. You know, now I think he's already told me he wants to go cook more SCAs, and it'll give us something to do again together. And you know, he did cook Saturday as well. And when we were talking about it on Saturday, I asked him, I said, hey, buddy, I said, you know, you did a wonderful job last night. I'm super proud of you. Win, lose, or draw. You know, I said, today it could go any way. I said, you had a great night last night. You know, I hope you win today, but, you know, there's always that chance you won't.
Yep.
And he just told me, he said, Dad, he said, as long as I can get fifth place, I'll be good.
Yeah.
I said, okay. I said, whatever, you know, and I honestly, I didn't know. I was doing I had a session going on inside. I wasn't able to go pick the steaks. He picked his own steaks. And when I got there, I was kind of leery about the steaks that he picked. You know, he had a lot better steak the first night. And, but when it came down to, you know, what we call the nut cutting, he actually did the same exact thing that he did.
Wow.
He turned out a wonderful product, and he wound up getting third.
Wow.
And so because the first and second place, had already qualified for the finals, he actually got a golden ticket as well. So
wow.
He already made the finals on his second SCA cook.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, you got one. You got one there.
I'm kind of proud. Yeah, I'm kind of proud.
Yeah,
So.
I would say so. Joey Machado, Sales and Marketing Manager for B&B Charcoal, the website, bbcharcoalproducts.com. Joey, appreciate the time tonight. And again, great to meet you in person and get to pal around a little bit out there last week.
Yep, same here. Look forward to it, and I hope we can do it again.
You got it. There he is, Joey Machado. B&B Charcoal, their sales and marketing guy right there.
All guests appear via the Traeger Grills hotline.
Wow.
Yummy.
Yeah, I'm hoping, and you can't do it justice until you see who competed, and of course I don't think there's a list of people that competed, especially in that first day cook. I mean, third P did better the second day. But we're talking the likes of a Chris Lilly and a Sam Jones and a Kevin Coleman, on top of all the SCA guys that were there. 16-year-old kid whooping it up. Congratulations, Ty. Joey, you should be proud. I know you are. We'll keep up with the steak talk coming up out of the break. Let me talk to you quickly about Cook Shack, manufacturers of smoker ovens for barbecue lovers with any amount of experience. Whether you barbecue in the backyard, on the competition circuit, or in a 5-star dining facility, Cook Shack has the unit that will do the job. And with a full line of barbecue sauces, spices, pellets, and wood chunks, it's the perfect one-stop shop. Cook Shack strives to be your barbecue resource center by offering cooking classes, online recipes, how-to videos, 2 blogs, Smokin' Grilling 101s, and a video cooking classroom. You can share your passion for all of your barbecue and grilling related stuff if you check them out on their Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+. You can get advice and share your passion for barbecue on the World Class Barbecue Forum. They still have one of those. Cook Shack pellet-fired smokers are the choice of champions because they were designed by a champion, Ed Fast Eddie Morin. The FEC 100, PG 1000, always customer favorites. The PG 1000 doubles as a smoker and a grill. Cook Shack residential electric smokers, if you're a fan of those. #1 smoker in the industry. High quality means high durability and versatility. Anything you can cook in your oven, you can make in a Cook Shack. Passion and dedication drives Cook Shack's manufacturing, with quality always being at the forefront. Get the best in barbecue since 1962. Call 800-423-0698. That's 800-423-0698, or call or visit cookshack.com. All right, we're back with Brett Gallaway right after this. Stick around. I'll be right back.
216-220-0966. Now, let's get back to the LeBron James of barbecue talk. Greg Rempe.
All right, this portion of the show being brought to you by CookinPellets.com, your number one source for quality wood pellets for all of your pellet-driven cookers. Visit CookinPellets.com to purchase. You can also visit Amazon.com to purchase if you want to. No problem. We can do that. Also, download their app and be alerted to the best, hottest, coolest new flavors of pellets that Cookin' Pellets are putting out here recently. Chris Becker and the gang blowing the lid off of the very foundations of the cooking pellet industry. CookinPellets.com. All right, the State Cook-Off Association well into the 2018 season now. First quarter almost up. In fact, this weekend there were 6 events spanning not only this country but Australia as well. Here to talk about the events that took place this weekend, get us up to speed on what's coming up here over the next 3 and 4 weeks, is none other than one of the co-founders of the State Cook-Off Association, Brett Gallaway, joining me here on the show. Brett, how are you, buddy?
Doing good. How about you?
Absolutely fabulous, Brett. Appreciate you taking the time to join me. And I know as we were corresponding today, you have been one busy steak cooking character, right?
It's been a long week. Of course, Ken was at the NBBQA conference all week, and I was in Melbourne, Australia. Running a class and a cook-off over there. So got home late last night and hit the ground running today. Good day.
Let's look at the international perspective here as state cook-off associations are going to go, because we have a lot to talk about locally, and when I mean locally, Fort Worth, since I was there as well at NBBQA. And I'm remiss in the fact that I didn't get a chance to meet Ken while we were there, but I was more or less holed up for 12 hours a day behind the bar there. But nevertheless, okay, that sounded really bad. Not behind the bar. I was in a room that was located behind the bar. Let's go ahead and get that clear out of the way. What's the international flavor of State Cook-Off Association like? I know you've spent a lot of time over in Australia. They seem to have really picked it up, much like the pickup or the popularity of Southern-style barbecue that has proliferated over there. The SCA has kind of done the same thing.
Well, I know you had Jess Prowse on a couple of weeks ago, and she helped found the Australasian Barbecue Association.
Right.
And that's who brought us to Australia. And so they're on fire for all things barbecue, all things grilling. It's really exciting to go over there. It's very refreshing.
When you look at how the SCA is in the United States and how they're competing here, is there any contrast over in Australia, or would you be able to put on a blindfold and not be able to tell Americans they were in Australia or Australians they were in America?
Well, we're using a lot of the same products. There's guys cooking with Poncho and Lefties over there. There's guys cooking with Killer Hogs over there. So they're using a lot of the same products to cook with. I think the biggest difference is the steak. Their ribeyes are a lot leaner. Great steaks, a lot leaner. We're used to a little more fat marbling in America.
Is that just from a breeding standpoint, why that happens?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most of their beef comes in from Tasmania. And so the grass-fed, the sea feeds the grass, and so it's a very interesting dried, not leaner beef, I guess you'd say.
I thought
great quality.
I thought Australia did a lot of their own beef production as well. I thought they were like competing with America as far as import.
No, the stuff we've used the last couple of times at Meat Stock is brought in from Tasmania.
The SCA is now in its 5th year, correct? We started the 5th year this year?
Yeah, just started the 5th year, so we're still around, still having fun, and hopefully the teams are having a great ride with it too.
Yeah, I mean, and it seems like it's growing like wildfire. It was all the talk at NBBQA as far as fun and exciting event and low barrier to entry, all the things we've talked about here in the past. This weekend, as I had mentioned in the open, 6 events, including the ones that you were at there in Melbourne, Australia. What events took place this past weekend?
Well, we had one, of course, the double in Fort Worth, and then we had a double also at 2 separate locations in Springfield, Missouri. And ironically, there were competing barbecue stores that had events on a Saturday and a Sunday.
It wasn't the same place?
No, it was at One was at one barbecue store, and the other was at a different one.
Wow.
Pits and Grills and Countryside Barbecue.
How far away are they from each other?
They're about 4 miles apart.
Is that a conflict of interest to some degree, or no?
Well, no. Actually, the guy from Pits and Grills, Nick, brought us to Springfield, took a chance on us, brought us in, had a great time the first year, and I promised him we wouldn't do another event for another competitor in town for a year. And the two barbecue stores worked together on this and came to me and said, "Hey, can we do this? We'll do one day and one the next." So, it was their own doing. They actually set it up. So
could we? I'm gonna spitball right here on this show. Hold on a second. This could be a major spitball announcement. Let me run this.
Boy.
Let me run this concept by. Could we go to Cleveland? I'm already here, by the way. But we could come to Cleveland. We could have a steak cook-off competition. Let's say on a Friday on the east side of Cleveland. Then we could go to the west side of Cleveland the next day and have a cook-off. And then we could take the top. Let's say we had 50 teams on each side. We take the top 25 teams from the east side and the top 25 teams from the west side. We go right downtown to Burke Lakefront Airport, and we have a championship cook-off, a 3-day event. Could that happen?
Let's do it. It can happen for sure.
It can really happen, a 3-day cooking that culminates with an overall grand champion?
In Cleveland, Ohio.
Wow.
We can do it.
All right. Well, now I'm going to have to really think about that. I didn't know if I was going to outstretch the legs there.
No, guys are chasing these points. The Pelican points chase is getting bigger and bigger, and we've got a big surprise to announce later in the year that will have something to do with that. But guys are chasing those points. So whenever there's 2 events in one town, they like it because you share hotel, save on costs, save gas. It's a win-win for everyone.
Brett, you said you had a major announcement coming up. Can I entice you with this?
A Barbecue Central Show exclusive news update.
Yes? No?
No.
No.
Unfortunately, this
no!
This sponsor would not be appreciating me letting it fly.
Yeah, I get that. No doubt about it.
It's part of a big campaign for all of us.
So let's talk about MBBQA just for a second. What was Ken's overall evaluation of this particular? Has he been to other conferences over the years, or is this his first time?
Yeah, Ken and I have been for the last 4 years.
Okay,
we've been in the conference, and Ken was actually the chairperson for this conference, so he wore many hats. It was really our reps, Danny and Michelle, that ran the event for him. But he was running around taking care of fires like he always does. Probably got called the mayor.
Why did he?
Said it was
I was going to say, what was his evaluation of the week?
I thought it was a good conference. Things seemed to go off as planned. The cook-offs went very smooth. Mm-hmm. We got a compliment from someone that's been in the barbecue world for a very, very long time, and this person said that we had just brought fun back to cooking, which is probably the greatest compliment we could get from someone that's been around as long as this person in the industry.
Brett, are we invoking rule number 1 of the show, no names, please, or are we going to eventually unveil this person's name?
We'll eventually. I don't know if it was supposed to be common knowledge, but it meant a lot for me to hear it. I think that was more than anything.
You want me to start guessing, right? Is that what you want me to do? Okay, fine. I'll start guessing. Here we go. Number 1. So here's I had a great time Friday night for I guess it was billed as like the celebrity steak cook-off, and then you had the normal steak cook-off the next day, which I did not get to see any because I was doing live broadcasts there from 12 to 3 every day. But taking part in Friday night and getting to hang out with Pancho and Lefty Steaks, they kind of allowed me or I forced my way into their camp. And initially, I just was kind of watching them prep, and they just kind of, talking to them a little bit. And then I realized, hey, you know what? Steaks are actually going to start getting put down. They got their fires going. They looked like they were sharing camp space with another team, actually. And I said, hey,
very common.
Let me video this. We'll do it Facebook Live, and we'll see what happens. Well, that 25 or 30-minute video turns into one of the most heavily watched videos I've ever posted on Facebook. And I don't want to just assume that every other team would have treated me with the same type of hospitality, but I don't know if you've seen the video yet, but literally, Roland and Justin are in the middle of cooking, and I'm just asking them questions. Why do you have that steak tied up? What temperature are you pulling off at? Why did you just shut all the dampers down? What temperature are these grill grates at? Blah, 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 blah. And without missing a beat, like they would turn away from what they were doing to look into the camera and explain fully what the mind thought was or what the process they were doing was or why they put tie around that steak and how they seasoned it or what temperature they were cooking it to. And then they would just get back to going like business as usual. Plus, we got to see a situation where the grill ran a little hot and how they were dealing with kind of a challenging situation and bringing the grill down to temperature and finally getting that steak turned in. It was kind of a very refreshing and, as you kind of alluded to, bringing the fun back into competition. It was a great half an hour, 45 minutes of total time that I got to spend with those guys. But really, and to use a bad pun, in the heat of battle, the fire was on, the time was on, the time was ticking, really. And they couldn't have been more hospitable, and the video was really cool. And just a bunch of great guys that I would assume that's kind of a microcosm of the cooks that you're bringing into this competition.
It is a microcosm of SCA cookers. The guys are, we're under 10 by 10 awnings, or like you saw there, a lot of guys will share an awning.
Yep.
The gentleman they were sharing with probably didn't have an awning because he came from the MBBQA conference, I'm guessing. I'm not sure who it was, but, they share with other guys out there. And for them to go through their whole process and let you film it, put it on Facebook. I mean, they've been great ambassadors, great champions. They won our world championship and got third the next year. And that third place was probably more impressive than their first place because, boom, they did it back to back. So, for those guys to do that, that's great. And, they're great ambassadors. We're very appreciative of them.
All right, now let me be critical just for 1 second here. And this has nothing to do with the cooks, but I have a growing concern that there might be a quick pace to get into that, what I call competition barbecue scene where, over the last 5 or 6 years, there's been kind of a non-creative flavor profile that everybody seems to shoot for. And if you get outside of that, or people don't want to get outside of that because they're afraid they're going to get dinged, and it's very expensive to do competition barbecue. Now, the steak scene isn't necessarily to that level of cost yet. And maybe it'll never get there, to be honest. But here's what I saw on the Celebrity Steak Cook-Off night. Lot of people using PK grills. And I'd heard from a grill master, and I will call his name was Brian Rapolo. And I said, hey, what do you think the percentage of cooks out here using grill grate, not the thing you put your meat on, but the actual grill grate brand of grill grates are? And he thought 90% of cookers out there were probably using grill grates. And I said, geez, so PK grills and grill grates. And so I guess where my high level concern is do you see people kind of veering down into having to use one kind of cooker and you have to use grill grates, and that the judges are seeing it so much that there is a non-realized bias being formed that the judges are expecting to see the steak look like something on the outside. For example, the grill grates that the grill marks that the grill grates leave. And if they don't see that, subconsciously they might think they want to score that down because it's not what they're used to seeing.
That's a great question. The PK grills, the reason you see so many PKs is, A, they're a great grill. They're one of our sponsors, but they went in and offered some bounty. If you win, you'll get an extra $500. They did that 2 years ago, and they obtained quite a bit of loyalty, and they're great steak machines. So I understand that completely. The grill grates, I think Brian might have been off on his evaluation. I think he's probably closer to 92, 95%. That use the things because they're great products. But you'll also get guys that will turn them over and cook upside down and use them as a serving station rather than the lines on them. The event that we're speaking of, the NBCA, guy that won it 2 years ago cooked he cooked it in a cast iron skillet. So you can still win without him. I don't think, we're real careful in the meeting. Hey, appearance is the appearance of the steak. It does not have to have grill marks to be a beautiful steak. So, I know a lot of people use a grill grate. I have them on every grill I own because they're an incredible product.
Sure.
You can still win without them. And, there's guys that, heck, we had a guy cook on a chimney. Well, he had a grill grate on top, but he cooked on a chimney, and he got fifth place. There's a lot of different ways that guys cook. And so that's kind of that any fire heat source. It really opens it up.
Brett, what's happening this week as far as steak cook-offs are concerned?
This is recover week. We had those events, and I was gone, Kim was gone, and so today I answered 843 emails that I had while I was gone this week.
Right.
Got that taken care of. We had 7 brand new events come in that we'll process for the next 2 days, and then we're back on the road again. This weekend we've got some big events coming up. We're in Ashburn, Georgia, which is great to have another Georgia event at the Fire Ant Festival. We're in Shawnee, Oklahoma with a KCBS event, and down in Crosby, Texas, as well as Memphis, Tennessee. So we're kind of back in 4 states. Wait a minute. There's a triple this weekend.
Uh-oh, somebody took my idea. If it's in Cleveland, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, this guy's we've got 3 events in 2 days.
Wow.
And they're doing ribeyes and tri-tip.
Nice.
Both days. So this is going to be a great event. It's actually a fundraiser for Operation Barbecue Relief. Sweet Swine of Mine's putting it on, calling it Steak Fest.
Nice. Brett Gallaway.
So we actually have more events.
Yeah, it sounds like it's blowing up, continuing to gain popularity and steam. Brett Gallaway from the Steak Cook-Off Association, the website, steakcookoffs.com. Brett, appreciate the time tonight, and we'll look for you again next month.
Thanks for having me on, buddy.
You got it. There he is. Brett Gallaway, Steak Cook-Off
All guests appear via the Traeger Grills hotline. Yummy.
God, that's so loud in my ears. It's just got to be. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I finally got my normal earbuds back. You would recall that I was pissed because when I had my ear surgery, I had to get the whole thing redone. They cut off part of my ears and my mold wouldn't fit anymore, so I had to get it remolded. Hey, speaking of Traeger Grills, they're one of the newest sponsors here on the show. Traeger Grills. Traeger wood-fired grills. You can visit them at TraegerGrills.com. You can check out the Pro Series line of cookers. You can check out the Timberline line of cookers as well if you're somebody that's looking for big capacity, big tech. Guess what? That Timberline's got exactly what you need. Make sure you hit up the website, get all your questions answered. If you have any questions, I can kind of answer them for you. But guess what? Traeger has all of the top-line pitmasters in their arsenal ready to answer questions for you. Go to TraegerGrills.com and check it out. The Timberline is especially interesting because it has that blue smoke. I call it the blue smoke technology. So basically, you're getting fresh smoke from the top, being sucked down over the meat, and then it's being exhausted out of the back. It doesn't have that traditional smokestack. Now, maybe you don't need the top-of-the-line Timberline. You can go Pro Series. Those are found a lot at the Ace Hardware type stores. Some of the other big box stores. I know Hartville Hardware has both lines as well here in Hartville, Ohio. You can check those out. Here's the benefit. Both of those make really good barbecue. So if you don't need top of the line or you don't want top of the line, Pro Series is right for you. Again, TraegerGrills.com. That's TraegerGrills.com. And we are happy to have them as sponsor of the show. Great seeing Chad Ward, Danielle Bennett, Doug Scheiding, Paul Shoddy, and the list goes on. Traeger Pros over there at NBBQA. All right, stick around. We'll be right back.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, we are back, and we are rolling out here to set up. Quick segment stop here. Thanks again to Brett Gallaway for joining me to go over steaks, and we're loading for the second hour. Stick around.
This is Brian Mayer, host of Hot Sauce Weekly, and you are listening to BCRN, all barbecue and grilling all the time.